Welcome to this tutorial on Killer Queen Black. This is going to be a quick crash course for new players. The timing might seem a little weird since the game was actually delisted a few years ago, but I'm mainly just making this for friends and family, and if you haven't played Killer Queen Black, I definitely recommend trying to find a friend that has it and playing it with them. And otherwise, you can always check out the original Killer Queen game, maybe at your local arcade if they have it. It's definitely a fun game, so let's get into it. Killer Queen Black is an 8-player game with two teams of 4, a blue team and a gold team. The inputs are super simple. It's just a joystick and 2 buttons, a jump button and an action button that will change depending on your role. There's 3 ways to win. So one way to win is to collect berries and fill up your hive. Up here, another way is to get the snail and bring them all the way to your finish line on your side of the map. And then the last way is a military victory where you kill the opposing queen 3 times. Matches are played in a best of 5, so like what you're seeing right now is one of many maps, and you play best of 5 games to figure out which team wins. There are 3 roles. The role that I'm controlling right now is the queen, and then there are 3 workers per team, and workers can become upgraded to knights, which give them weapons and the ability to fight. So let's start with the worker role, which, since there's 3 of them, more likely what you might be starting out with. All right, workers are really simple. Inputs are just left, right to move around, and A to jump. And then you can pick up berries, and then you can bring them to your hive like this. And then if you jump into one of the holes, your character will automatically go inside, deposit it, and jump out another hole. So just like a slight delay on the animation that takes up just a teeny bit of time, and then you're back out and you can go get more berries. You can press B to throw them, like that. And actually, I pressed it as I was ascending on the jump. So normally, if you're just standing still, you'll throw it down like this, or if you do it like a bit after your jump, you'll throw it down. But if you throw it during the ascension of your jump, you'll throw it upwards like that. So you can try to throw them into your hive that way. But it comes with a little bit of risk because it might fall down, or it might go kind of towards your opponent's hive. So something to watch for. Yeah, so if you fill the entire hive, you win. This map is a little unique. Most maps just have a single hive location, but this one actually has some holes to fill all the way at the top left as well as the bottom left down here. And you have to fill both of those. And then otherwise, that's pretty much the worker role. Up and down do nothing, just in case you were wondering, for the worker. So just the inputs are super simple, just left, right, and jump and throw. And then there's the there's the snail roll. Let's see, which one's that? This one. So you can hop on the snail to ride it, and then you just hold towards your goalpost, and you'll move the snail. And if you get the snail all the way to your goalpost, you win. So pretty straightforward there. While you're riding it, if an opponent worker runs into the snail will actually eat that worker. So there's an animation where the snail like stops in place and chews on them for a little bit. So there's like a bit of a delay. But yeah, that's a mechanic too, which is pretty funny. Let's see here. You just run into it, or you jump onto the snail to mount it, and then you just press jump to dismount. Simple as that. If you do die as a worker, you'll just respawn up in the hive, and it's like a short, like 3-second delay. So not too bad, but yeah, you'll just respawn. You have infinite lives as a worker, as opposed to the queen, which just has 3. All right, so that's the worker role, and then there's the knight role. So as a worker, you can grab a berry, and then bring it to a gate to turn into a knight, which I've already did that with this guy right here. So this knight's been upgraded to have a flail. There's 3 different weapons. There's a sword, a flail, and like a laser gun. And I'll go over the weapons and upgrades in a bit. But for now, just know that when you upgrade to a knight, you are no longer a worker. You can no longer pick up berries. So you can see here, like, I can't pick up berries anymore. I can't really fill the hive. To some degree, there's an ability to like knock around the berries. But yeah, it's going to be like hard to aim that and everything. Mainly, you're just here. You're able to fight. You're able to kill other workers. You can kill the enemy queen as a knight. That's kind of what your role ends up being. If you die, you'll respawn not as the knight, but as a worker, and you'll have to get an upgrade again. Okay, yeah. So we'll go over the different weapons. So one is the flail, which you just press the attack button, and then this whole animation is automatic. Like it'll just spin, 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 spin like that until it ends, and then you'll see my knight is like blinking afterwards, which is like a cooldown. Like I can't just activate it right away again. So this one's really easy to use. It's nice because it's just spinning all around. You don't have to worry about aim too much. It's mainly just like thinking through the timing of when you want to activate it. You want to activate it a little bit ahead of time, and then kind of approach other workers or queens to try to get hits. You can like drop down from above. That can be a good strategy, or come from below, things like that. The sword will dive forward. It's actually a lot like the queen's, which dives forward like this, and then the laser will shoot a laser across the whole screen, and even like wrap around the sides too, a little bit too. And I'll show those off in a second. I don't want to upgrade every worker right now because I want to show the non-weapon upgrades also, which we'll get into here. But let's talk about the queen roll first. So the queen has 3 lives. You'll actually see these giant eggs here at the top. So these are like the 3 eggs for the gold queen. Since I didn't populate the orange team in here, all 3 are still there, right? But I spawned from this first one, basically. So that's 3 lives. So if at any point you see 0 eggs on your side, that means your queen has no more lives, and if she dies one more time, your team will lose. And vice versa, pay attention to your opponent's team. Like if they have no more eggs, then maybe go for a queen kill to try to get a victory. Inputs on the queen are just kind of like the worker left, right to move. A is actually to fly. Oh, I should have mentioned that with the worker too. Basically, if you rapidly tap or hold the jump button, you'll just ascend. You'll just fly. Let's see, which one is it? This one. The knights can do the same thing. They gain the ability to fly. And then the attack button dives forward. This is similar to how the sword will work if you're a sword knight. And then the additional input that the queen has is pressing down. Pressing down will do a dive, and you can just dive the whole map like that. You can do like little dives like this. You can dive and then use B to move over. So there's lots of kind of cool movements you can do as a queen. The queen is very, very mobile and fast to get around the map. And it's super fun. But you have a lot of responsibilities as a queen, and we'll get into all that and stuff here in a moment too. So diving is pretty handy too. And you're just pointing your sword down, so like anything you hit along the way when you're diving will kill enemy workers and queens. Let's see here. Okay, queen. Yeah, so queens cannot get upgrades. So I can't pick up a berry as a queen. Kind of same thing as a knight. I can't get a berry. I can't get an upgrade through these gates. But there is a really important interaction with the gates that the queen has. So you may have noticed when I touched this gate, it turned blue. So it turns my team's colors. And that means that the opposing team cannot use it for upgrades. Like if a worker came here and stood in front of it, they just wouldn't be able to get an upgrade. So one of the queen's roles is to just zip around the map and like try to touch each of these gates and turn them blue so that your team can use them and the opposing team can't. If you can end up getting a handful of your workers to be knights while turning all the gates your color and just completely denying the opposing team from even getting knights, pretty quickly you're going to overwhelm them and win, because they're just not going to have any defenses, and their queen will be their only one that can even fight back. So that's kind of one of the really important goals of the game, is to get the gates, get some knights, win militarily, and then keep track on the other victory methods as well. All right, so talk about maps a little bit. The maps do change randomly between games. They vary in the following ways. They could have a different number of berry holes in the hives. This one's really unique in that it has two locations. Most maps just have one. There might be different goal distances for the snail. So on this map, the blue goal is all the way on the left side, and the yellow goal is all the way on the right. But sometimes they're a little bit closer. So there might be maps where the snail victory could be easier or just take shorter distance to get. And same with the berry holes. Like if there's fewer holes, it could be a good map to go for berries. This one's actually kind of, even though there's like two separate locations, I think this is potentially a good berry map. I'm not an expert, but but yeah. And then yeah, most maps wrap around on the sides, as you kind of saw. So like if you go to the right, you'll come out the left. If you go to the left, you come out the right. Not every map, but some maps have the same wraparound through the top and the bottom. So there might be like a hole in the floor here that I could fall through and then come out the top. So that's something to definitely to pay attention to. You can get some sneaky kills or get sneakily killed from the edges of the map that way. Especially with the laser, which just that laser just travels through and wraps around. It's pretty hilarious to see those kind of snipes happen. Okay, what else about maps? Oh yeah, there is a grass patch which does slow you down. Yeah, so as a worker queen, just jump through it. Like you'll get through it. Just note that the grass patch here will slow you down and just hop through it. Yeah, and sometimes berries are on the ground, sometimes they're on the ceiling, so sometimes you have to jump to them. Yeah, sometimes they're in easier spots to get, sometimes they're in harder spots to get. Yeah, that's maps. Let's see here. Okay, let's go through all the upgrades. We've got non-weapon upgrades and weapon upgrades. So we'll start with the non-weapon upgrades, because those will keep you as a worker. So just about upgrading in general. First, you have to have a berry. Like you'll kind of see the little silhouette, or the hole, I guess, on the gate is shaped like a worker with a berry that they're holding. So to upgrade, you just need to run up to it and stand still in front of it. So there you notice I didn't stand still. Like I kind of locked onto it, but I didn't stand still. So I didn't go into it. So it's just like a really, really short delay. So you just go stand in front of it, and then you sit there and wait until the gate takes you inside. And then once it takes you inside, you'll notice that the flail lit up initially. But yeah, this is your moment to choose. You're basically choosing between one upgrade or another. And you're using up that berry in the process. You'll see I didn't come back out with the berry. So in this case, I pressed to the right to select the lightning bolt, which is speed. And now you can kind of see that my worker is like a whole lot faster. And yeah, this is sweet. So like you can become a fast worker, and then that way you can bring berries to your base faster. It does actually speed up the speed of the snail too. So there you can kind of see the snail's got that trailing animation as well, which is pretty handy. Yeah, that's speed. Yeah, next upgrade is the shield, or next non-weapon upgrade is the shield. It puts the shield in front of you that can tank one hit. When it's hit, it breaks, and then you're vulnerable for a little bit, but it does regenerate, which is pretty handy. So that can be really, really powerful. And as you can see, I retained the speed upgrade too, so I've got that. And then when you become a knight, you still keep these non-weapon upgrades, which is super handy. So here I'll grab the sword, and now this is like a really scary combination. I've got speed, I've got a shield, and I've got a sword. Debatably, I would almost say this like triple upgraded roll is potentially even stronger than a queen, because you can tank a hit, you're faster. You just can't dive down, I guess, is all compared to the queen. But yeah, this is like a really, really, really scary combination. So yeah, just a little bit of risk in spending all that time doing that, because yeah, you got to get 3 berries, you got to visit the gates 3 times in a row without dying, and then if you do die, you get reset all the way back. But yeah, that can definitely be a powerful thing to do. to get a fully upgraded knight. And keep in mind, yeah, if once you become a knight, you can't pick up berries, so you can't become a knight and then get these non-weapon upgrades. You have to get them in that order. You'd have to get them a non-weapon upgrade and then become a knight. So and yeah, this is the sword. So yeah, sword, you just press the attack button, and you'll kind of lunge forward, and it'll kind of curve up or down a little bit depending on your momentum. So if I'm ascending, oh, that wasn't a good example, but if I'm ascending and I press attack, I'll kind of go up and diagonal. And if I'm falling, I'll go down and diagonal, right? Yeah, kind of like this. So anyway, so that's the sword. It's pretty sweet. You know, if I were to compare the sword and the flail, like as a sword knight, you can travel horizontally a lot faster because you can like run and then you get these little boosts from the sword. Whereas the flail knight just has to like basically walk and fly as they swing their flail. So yeah, the sword gives you like a bit of extra mobility, which is pretty handy. I guess one other thing to note too is if two weapons collide, and I can't show it when I'm on the same team, but if you lunge forward and an opposing sword knight lunges forward, you'll clank off each other. It makes a cool clang sound, and you'll bounce off each other, and you can keep trying to fight from there. So that can happen too. And then I guess I'll show the last upgrade. And yeah, I was careful to choose this map where that had every single upgrade on the map. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to show as a worker. Because once I upgrade, I won't have any workers, and I won't have any yellow team to kill my worker. Yeah, I showed berries. I showed how to kick them. Yeah, I mean, I think we covered everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get the laser here. So I'll pick the laser. So this is a laser knight, and yeah, you just press the shoot button to shoot it, and then I'll kind of show you how this thing wraps around. So it's like, it'll almost reach me again. It's like almost an entire screen length when you shoot it like that. So it's pretty sweet. And yeah, the cooldown's pretty darn long on the laser. So yeah, be careful. You shoot, and then you got to wait a little while. And yeah, that's something to keep in mind too, is that not every single map has every single upgrade. I think it's like this and maybe one other map that does. And then other maps might have fewer gates, or just, you know, a few, like one or two of the upgrades are just missing from the map and not relevant for it. But yeah, those are the upgrades. We talked about the queen roll and maps. So yeah, I'll get into strategy like a little bit. I'm definitely no expert. There are people, like I know at my local arcade where they have the original Killer Queen, they have like league play, and there's like regulars that play, and like that's so cool. But I never did that myself. I've always just played this game casually, just with my friends. So I'm by no means like an expert, but I think I can provide like a couple tips that will be handy just to get started. So the first is that while there's 3 paths to victory, they don't all happen in equal ratios. The berries happen the least. So much more often than not, you'll end the game in a military victory or a snail victory. And really, whether it's a military or snail victory, they're both really won through military might. By having more knights, by establishing dominance militarily, keeping your opponents from having knights, because you're basically going to have like one person on the snail, and then you're just protecting that person on the snail as they just go all the way to your goal. You know, if your queen is really good, and maybe you have an extra knight or two that are pretty good, and you're just keeping the opposing team at bay, then you're going to win, right? Because the only counterplay to someone just running away with a snail is you like either the opposing team's queen or a worker turning into a knight. Someone has to go kill that worker that's riding that snail. Like that's the only way you're getting around with it. Like a worker can't knock them off the snail, right? And again, if an enemy worker runs up to a snail, they just get eaten by the snail. So it has to be with a queen or a knight to counter that. So that said, if you're playing this game and like, let's say you're starting out as a worker, I think it's really important to maybe focus on becoming a knight and doing that knight role. For most of the workers, Because yeah, again, a team that has many knights will just overwhelm a team that doesn't have any. So maybe like a good composition that you start out with is like dedicating two of your workers to being knights, and then that last worker to do like snail or berry duty. And then you can kind of adjust as needed. And there's definitely other viable strategies, but that's just like a rough starting point. People should definitely be thinking about getting that knight roll and contributing as a knight. Anyway, sorry, I was a little repetitive there. I know, but one other like quick little tip about berries. Sometimes you might have like one of these ground berry patches like really close to the hives. So there's kind of like a counter. I can't do it right now because I don't have it work anymore. But a counter strategy would be like, okay, just to help visualize this, pretend like this berry patch is actually right here for a moment. And there might be a map where there's literally like a really easy berry patch that's that close to the hive. So if there's one right here, and I'm blue team, and I'm a worker, I like you start out the game in the upper left as blue, right? But I can like run over here really quick, and then I can just sit here and then press the throw button over and over and over and over again, and basically throw every berry in that entire patch, just towards the middle of the map or towards my side of the map, really. And that just slows down their berry collecting and could speed up your berry collecting. Again, maybe not the biggest deal if like neither team is going for berries anyway, but in case that becomes relevant or it's a good berry map or something, that's just like a thing to keep in mind. It's like a berry denial strategy, basically. Yeah, what else? Yeah, there's probably like a ton you can look up about strategy online. I haven't really done that, but yeah, some people kind of went ham with this game. Honestly, I thought this game had really good like esport potential. It was really disappointing when the game became delisted because it is such a cool game. But anyway, last thing I'll mention is just communication. So communicate with your team, and that's kind of what makes this game so fun. Is that like every time I played it, it's always like a yelling fest. We're like hollering at each other. One whole team just completely tunnel visions and forgets about the snail, and it's about to win, and they have to rush over there. It's hilarious, and it's part of what makes this game so incredibly fun. So yeah, my tip there is just to lean into the communication, communicate things. There's so much going on all at once, and there's 8 players on the map, and the map is big. So it is easy to get tunnel vision and forget about things. Like maybe your queen is forgetting to make contact with the gates so that people can upgrade, right? So communicate with your team, just holler things out. Yeah. So if you're a worker, just tell them to remind your queen to grab gates. If you're a queen and you're on your very last life, tell your team, let them know, get them to protect you. Watch out for ninja snails, things like that. It's just a good thing to do. So, but yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know to get started in Killer Queen Black. Hopefully that helps newer players so that when you just dive into this game and you see these huge maps with all this stuff everywhere, you know what everything is at least, and can learn a bit faster that way. So yeah, have fun. Thanks.